Warning, this is a movie discussion as well as a movie review. It contains lots and lots of spoilers. So, Kong, Skull Island. Picture this. Samuel L. Jackson is a colonel in the military, and King Kong has pretty much just destroyed like half his men. And in the midst of all the chaos and fire and explosions and shit, Samuel L. Jackson just stands there, calm as ever, having a stare down with King fucking Kong, a full-blown evil eye stare down. And it was at this moment that I knew this movie was gonna be dumb as fuck. Now, you know what? Hear me out, don't get me wrong. It wasn't horrible, but it had potential to be great. It had potential to be a lot better. I just refused to ignore this glaring stupidity of that particular plot point. Samuel L. Jackson has personal beef, a personal vendetta with an ape the size of an office building, and he constantly risks the lives of all his living men to fight an actual monster while they're on foot, by the way. So, was this movie good though? I mean, that depends. People get so caught up in visual effects that they completely ignore all illogical plots and, bad character development and bad acting, cliches and, bad use of great actors, all that shit. So, my dislikes. First, do scientists ever use common sense in these movies? How the fuck you just gonna roll up on some uncharted territory and start dropping explosives talking about you think the ground is hollow and it's monsters living in it? Okay, so what exactly was the plan after the monsters came out? Because none of this worked out very well. To hell with refuge, huh? Let's go stand in a valley. I'm tired of dumb characters in these movies. They put this team together of scientists, explorers. They had a military escort, Loki. I mean, this was this whole group of people, and that was the plan y'all came up with. I'm no scientist, okay, but when scientists do go and explore, they use little robots and they use things to explore unfamiliar territory before they just go running out and dropping bombs on it. At least see what the fuck is going on first. If you're gonna be lying to people about your agenda, can you at least try to keep them alive? My next dislike, like I said, Samuel L. Jackson and this whack ass vendetta he has against big ass King ass Kong. Okay, this isn't the first movie about a man with a personal beef with something that will fuck him up. Okay, there was Jaws, the orca, I get it. He's painted as a guy who lives for this shit. And King Kong killed his men, okay? But do they teach you to make sure the rest of your men make it to safety? And you're gonna risk everybody's lives because you crazy? And that damn stare down in the middle of the explosions, it was horrible, it was cheesy, it was this evil Damien music playing. It was so 1983, and I cannot let that go. It was so terrible. I can't believe people saw that and said that this was a good movie. My next dislike, King Kong was straight up sneaking up on niggas. That scene where the guy, he was in the stream, and here comes King Kong's big ass from around the corner, and he didn't hear him at all until he was right there. Really? Is he a soft walker? Is he tiptoeing? And then when Brie Larson, she was trying to save whatever this animal was. It was under a helicopter. And King Kong just appears all of a sudden right there. He lifts the helicopter up. And no, he was not there already, or she would have seen him. So, little stuff like that when you're watching it, you have to pay attention, to these kind of inconsistencies and just some of the ridiculous things that happen. My next dislike, the character development, it just really sucked. They kept trying. There was this black guy. He was one of the soldiers, and his name was Mills, and he was played by Eazy-E. He was played by the actor who played Eazy-E in Straight Outta Compton, whose name is Jason Mitchell. And he was always talking, okay? But he wasn't never saying shit. Just cracking little jokes and talking to other soldiers. But the dialogue was always really unrealistic. It was never funny. The writers wanted you to care about him and these soldiers, but you don't. You don't develop a connection with them, and everybody else was just kind of there and, kind of random still. Like it was this random Asian biologist they brought along, and, she had a line every 37 minutes. And I don't know, I'm guessing they wanted to appeal to the Asian audience. This poor child, she ain't had no lines. My next dislike, the creatures, the enemy, whatever. I'm not impressed with anything about them. The way they looked, just them, what they were, giant lizards. They were very CGI looking. I also didn't like their backstory. John C. Riley said that the bombs, the explosives, woke them up. And he said, at least you didn't wake up the big one. So are they in eternal hibernation? I can get that, explosions aggravated them, okay? But I mean they will sleep, or do they sleep forever? I don't understand. They haven't figured out how to jump King Kong yet. I don't know. It just, again, that whole it just seemed really forced, and it wasn't very well done. John C. Riley, he's apparently the comedic relief. However, he didn't really do it for me either. Yes, he added something to the movie, but mostly because every other character was dry and pretty much sucked. All of his humor, it just felt really flat for me. I was just not impressed with him or his character. My final dislike, this whole movie was very typical, very predictable. I don't think there was anything I was genuinely surprised by. King Kong, he still had to save him a white girl, because it's not King Kong if he doesn't get to wrap his paws around a white girl. It's just not. That's what King Kong is. Every image you see of him, he's got a white girl in his hand. So they had to find a reason to put a white girl in his hand. So on to likes. I do have some. The first one is how quickly they got to the island and subsequently the action. King Kong immediately start fucking their asses up. When they got to the island, I mean, they didn't even land. And he was like, I think the fuck not. Not today, bitch. They brought their asses through that hurricane. Speaking of which, if we gonna fly through a stage 5 hurricane, I'm gonna need some fucking hurricane doors on my helicopter. That shit ain't safe. That part really drove me crazy. Anyway, so King Kong, he just immediately starts fucking them up. He starts like throwing trees and shit at them, just throwing helicopters at other helicopters with impeccable precision. Just fuck them all the way up. I would have aborted the shit out of that mission. Turn the fuck around. And later, you find out King Kong is the good guy. So you're like, okay, well, what the fuck is the bad guy gonna do to their asses? And I'm just gonna say my next like has gotta be the only reason people really liked this bullshit in the first place. Visually, this movie was stunning. The scenery, the cinematography, I mean the island, absolutely beautiful. The visual, the special effects, spectacular. They did a great job. I mean, King Kong is and looks mean as fuck, but he looks real, and you get a lot of full body shots, close-ups, a lot of facial expressions. I mean, various expressions of pissed off, but they're close up, unobstructed shots, and it's was just done really well. Matter of fact, when they first get there, he's like standing in the sunset. I never knew King Kong could be so beautiful. I was just sounds crazy, but it was really awesome. And my last when they got to the island, I was hoping to see that there would be some really cool large animals there, and there were. There weren't a whole lot of them, but I was glad to see. If anything did surprise me, that's what it was. I didn't know what was going to be in store for him. Not his lizard nemesis, but it was like a big spider, and it was some other animals there. That was pretty cool. So in conclusion, this movie was okay. The casting was okay. It was mediocre. It was just a really blah movie with a blah storyline and wonderful special effects. I give it a 6 out of 10. let me know what you think. Follow me on Twitter at MovieBuffChick1. That's MovieBuffChick1. And go on ahead and subscribe to my channel and let me know what you think.